Jai Hind to one and all. Myself Mahendra Dutt Dwivedi, Assistant Professor, EN Department, Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today we are going to take a session on electrical drives. Subject code is KEE075. Unit 1 topic which I have selected for today's discussion is speed torque convention and multi-quadrant operation. So in today's topic we'll learn and understand how we are going to take the speed torque convention and why it is important to take the speed torque convention, as well as we will see 4 quadrant operation of a drive. So with the help of an example we will understand how drive is working in the motoring mode or forward and reverse operation of the drive, and we will take just a simple example which is visible to all of us, and that will be the example of a lift. So let us have a look on today's content of discussion. So we will see what is electrical drive, what are the classification methods of the speed control, because it is one of the very important parameter where we understand how to control the speed of the motor. Ultimately drive is going to control the speed of the motor, nothing else. Speed torque convention and 4 quadrant operation, and then classification of load torque. So today we are going to discuss all these components one by one. So let us start. So if we will see classification methods of speed control, so we have divided this classification in 3 or 4 groups. So in first group, basically uncontrolled constant speed of rotation during normal operation condition, means normal operating conditions, in normal operating conditions we are not going to control the speed. Speed may be unidirectional or depending upon the requirement, so it may be bidirectional as well. So motor may be working in the motoring mode, or sometimes if required, so reverse motoring mode. So either in forward direction or in reverse direction. So it could be bidirectional as well as unidirectional. So magnitude of speed is not an important consideration, and that's why it is known as uncontrolled constant speed, because it is not one of the very important parameter. Similarly, if we will see, speed is permitted to fluctuate in response to variation in magnitude and direction of the load torque. So speed will also vary according to load, because we are not going to control the speed. If we will see example of this type of group or method where uncontrolled constant speed rotation is there during normal operating conditions. So example is drives for pumps. So in the pump, if we are increasing the volume of input or output, so basically speed of the motor will change. Ventilators, compressors are the example of unidirectional rotation. For bidirectional rotation, drives of a crane can be cited as a example. So in the crane we know that we are going to have the bucket in down direction as well as in the up direction. So in both the cases we can see speed is depending upon what is the load torque and direction of the load torque. So in the second group, if we will see, these drives provide step change in speed during normal operating condition and maintain constant speed within the steps. So speed step change means gradually speed is increasing. If for some time speed is at this point, so after some time speed may increase to this point. Similarly, in steps we can increase the speed, as well as when we are going to decrease the speed, it will also decrease in steps. So rotation may be unidirectional or otherwise with and without speed control during the transient condition. So during the transient condition we can say that normally we are not going to apply the speed control, because since circuit is not in the steady state, so lot of fluctuations are there. So once circuit will come in the steady state, then we are going to apply the speed changes. So normally we know that transient condition is normally for 1 second, 2 second, or it may also be in the milliseconds. So it is used in the various machine tools. Example, in drilling machine. In drilling machine, an electric drive have to provide different speeds for different materials of the workpiece and diameters of the drills. Similarly, step control is also used in heavy duty cranes, lifts, mine winders, in order to have appropriate speed. So in the lift, basically we will see the example of the lift, where we will see how we are going to increase or decrease the speed of the lift depending upon starting point and ending point. If suppose we have taken a lift where we are going from ground floor to 13th floor, and same example if we will take a lift where we have to reach from ground floor to 3rd floor. So speed of the lift will be more when we are reaching from ground floor to 13th floor, because if same speed is maintained which is maintained for the 3rd floor, so it will take lot of time. So depending upon what is the destination, where finally its speed will also vary. So later on we will see the example of the lift. In the third group, these drives provide a smooth or with narrow step. So earlier if we have seen step size was this much, so now in this group step size will be less. So narrow speed change is available in this group. Control of speed within certain ranges during normal operating condition. So a drive of an electric or locomotive can serve as an example where a smooth speed control of traction motor is required. So obviously in the train we cannot think of that. We will have jerk, like smooth speed control will not be there, then during the change in the steps there will be heavy jerk. So it is one of the example. Main drive of a rolling mill is another example of drives of this group, but compared to the locomotive traction drive, the requirements of the speed control are different here. In the fourth group, these drives have to provide control for fixed position of the load. Drives for lifts and mine winders are example of drives of this group. So these drives are used for automatic production line, skip lifting and loading installation in sugar and chemical industries. So this is fourth group. Now in the fifth group, these drives are used for position control in response to the command. So they are also called servo mechanism. So for position control we know that mostly we are using the servo motors, as well as sometimes we can also use stepper motors, but in most of the industrial application where position control is required, in most of the power plants where position control is one of the very critical component, so there we are going to use the servo mechanism. So they are widely used in recording and controlling instruments, copying devices for machine tools, drive systems for radio and radar antennas, etc. So it is one of the very important component of the industries as well as power plant, servo mechanism, through which we are going to control the sluice gate. In the hydropower plant, we are going to control the volume of the water through penstock. We are going to control the water going through the turbine. So wherever we require the position control, or wherever we want to operate some types of the we can say valves, so there we are going to use the servo mechanism. Now let us see, if we will see the classification. So one of the classification is mode of operation. Now these topics will be discussed in unit 2. So in next lecture we will discuss these topics. So this is continuous duty, short time duty and intermittent duty. So it is one of the very important component for the selection of the motor power rating as well as classes of the motor duty. So depending upon the application, we require different classes of the motor duty, so that if one motor is required to run for 24 hours and same motor is required to run for the 1 hour, so it will not produce the same efficiency. So efficiency will be less, as well as overall costing of the system will be not economical. So in that way we can see these are very important component for the selection of the motors. So we will see these topics in next lecture. So dynamic and transients. So if we will see, there are two types of the transient. One is uncontrolled transient and another is controlled transient period. So most of the industrial application will go through controlled transient application, otherwise you will not be able to handle the process of the plant if there will be uncontrolled transient period. So we require a controlled transient period such that we can go easily to the steady state period. Now let us see speed torque convention and multi-quadrant operation. It is very important to understand the application of the lift or application of the drive along with the motors. So if I say drive, it means that it is containing all power electronic component. There is some source, then there will be some power electronic component known as modulator, and there will be motor. So this is power modulator, this is source, this is motor. There will be some sensing unit which is sensing the output of the power modulator, or it can also be fed to this point. So if we will not want to connect from here, we can connect. So output of the motor will be compared through its reference value. Then there will be some controller. Controller is nothing but firing circuits and other types of control unit is there. So if you want to increase the output, so suitably we can change the firing angle of these power electronics component. So in this way, this is a drive, and when I am saying the drive, so drive contains all these components, and motor is one of the very important component of the drive. So for motor to move in all four quadrants, so this is forward motoring, forward braking, reverse motoring and reverse braking. This is torque and this is speed. So torque is taken in the x-axis and speed is taken in the y-axis. So for multi-quadrant operation of the drive, it is useful to establish suitable convention about the sign of the torque and speed. So we can take this direction as positive direction of the speed and positive direction of the torque, or someone want to take this direction as positive direction of the speed and positive direction of the torque. So there will be no problem if once you have suitably set the direction of the speed and torque. and through which once you have targeted this direction as a positive direction, so later on in all four quadrants you cannot change the direction of the speed and torque, means operation of the motor will be taken according to this convention only in all four quadrants. So for multi-quadrant operation of drive, it is useful to establish suitable conventions about the signs of the torque and speed. So motor speed is considered positive when rotating in forward direction. So what is the forward direction? So here whatever direction you are taking, so this is positive speed in this quadrant and positive torque. Whatever direction you are taking. So for that direction, this is positive speed and positive torque. For drives which operate in only one direction only, forward speed is their normal speed. So forward speed, suppose we have taken this as a this direction as positive direction of the motor speed and motor torque. So this is the forward speed for one directional motor. In loads involving up down motion, the upward direction of the motion is treated as forward rotation. So if there is any load, linear load which is having up and down direction, so forward direction, this is forward direction, so this will be treated as positive when this load will have motion in upward direction. This will be treated as negative speed for the motor when this load will have downward direction. So for reversible drives, forward direction of rotation is arbitrarily and motion in opposite direction gives reverse speed which is assigned the negative sign. So positive motor torque is defined as torque which produces acceleration of positive rate of change of speed in forward direction. So this is positive torque. Positive load torque is opposite in direction to the positive motor torque. So if we will see motor load system, so suppose this is motor, this is connected to the load, this is motor connected to the load. So if this is the positive direction of the motor, positive direction, so load will have positive direction opposite to the direction of the motor. So if we will see, this is positive direction for the load. So load torque will have positive direction in opposite to the direction of the motor torque and motor speed in the positive direction. So this is Tm, motor torque. This is TL, load torque. So load torque is opposite in the direction. So positive load torque is opposite in the direction to the positive motor torque. Okay. A motor operates in two modes. So either motor can operate in forward motoring or reverse motoring. Similarly, in motoring, it converts electrical energy to mechanical energy supporting the motion. This is basic fundamental. In braking mode, it works as a generator and convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy, thus opposing the motion. So if we will see, in this quadrant, we can have regenerative braking. Here normally we are having plugging, because if we will see, speed is reversed as well as speed is directly proportional to the voltage with some values. So if we will see, here it is negative voltage. So mostly either we are working in second quadrant for braking or in fourth quadrant. So normally in fourth quadrant, plugging is being applied. So power developed by motor is gives as product of torque and speed. So normally we are taking this formula, power is equal to product of speed and torque. So when both are positive, power will be positive. When one is positive, another is negative, then power will be negative. So we will use this concept for regenerative braking. So in first quadrant, power developed is positive because speed is in forward direction as well as torque is also in the forward direction, therefore power is positive. So speed is also positive, torque is also positive, therefore power is also positive. In second quadrant, power developed is negative, so machine operates in braking mode. So here if we will see, speed is still in the forward direction, but torque is in the opposite direction, and therefore if we will see, power will be negative because speed is positive and torque is negative. Similarly, in third quadrant, if we will see, power is positive because speed and torque both are in the negative direction, omega m and Tm. So if we will see, omega m is equal to negative and Tm is also negative. So ultimately, whenever operation of the motor will be in the motoring state, so it requires the positive power, so that power can be fed to the motor to convert the electrical energy into mechanical energy. But when we are talking about the braking mode, so there basically mechanical energy or inertia of the motor, which is containing the energy, that is converted into electrical energy, and therefore negative power means power is being fed from the load to the source, means motor is at the load end, so motor is working as a generator and power is being fed back to the source. Similarly, in here if we will see, so torque is positive, speed is negative, and therefore power will be negative. So torque is positive, speed is negative, and therefore ultimately product of speed and torque will be negative. So let us take an example of crane system or lift system. So there if we will see, here convention is taken as this direction of torque and this direction of motor as positive direction, or we can also say this is forward direction of the motor speed and torque. So this is omega m and this is Tm. TL is the load torque. Here if you will see, there is a counterweight. Counterweight is equal to weight of the unloaded cage, or normally counterweight is greater than weight of empty cage. So this is the counterweight. Here this is the motor, you can see this is motor connected through the rope, and this is cage, which is normally we are saying as lift. So this is load torque with loaded cage. So this is loaded cage, motion is upward, lift is going from down to the upward, so this is positive motion, as we have seen earlier in linear motions which are having positive upward and downward motions, then we can say that this is the positive motion. So normally positive motor torque, positive speed, load torque will be opposite to the motor torque. In second, if we will see, we have to bring down the empty cage, we have to bring it from ground state or ground position to upper position. So already I have discussed that counterweight is greater than the weight of the empty cage. So it will easily carry the empty cage upward, and therefore we have to control the speed of the motor, and therefore we have to apply a negative motor torque. So we can see direction of the motor torque is changed. So here power was positive because direction of speed and motor torque was same. Here power is negative because direction of motor torque is opposite to the direction of the load torque, and as well as conventional direction which was taken as a forward direction or positive direction of the motor torque is changed to the opposite side. Similarly, in this quadrant, if we will see, direction of the motor torque and the speed both changes, and therefore we are getting the positive output power, because this is also negative and this is also negative. Therefore reverse motoring, whenever power is positive, that is motoring mode, and since direction of speed and torque change, so this is reverse motoring. Similarly, counterweight, this is loaded cage, so we have to bring down the loaded cage. So with the help of gravity, and this loaded cage is having more weight compared to the counterweight, so easily it will come down. Therefore we have to apply the braking mode, and in braking mode we know that power is negative, since speed of the lift is in reverse direction but motor torque is in its forward direction, and therefore overall power will be negative. So this is 4 quadrant operation of the lift. So this is all which we have discussed. So classification of load torque: active load torque and passive load torque. Active load torque which have the potential to drive the motor under equilibrium condition are called active load torque. So usually they retain their sign when drive rotation is changed. So torque due to gravitational force, tension, compression and torsion undergone by an elastic body comes under this category. So in the passive load torque which always oppose the motion and change their sign on reversal of the motion are called passive load torque. Torque due to friction, cutting, passive load torque. Such torques are due to friction, windage and cutting, etc. So this was all about today's discussion. Thank you very much.